Howdy, everybody, and welcome to the Æther-Shanties. I am Matthew R. Dawson, your friendly neighborhood host and game master for this campaign, which, in the timeline of our network setting of Loroupa, takes place about 40 years after the events of the Debauchery Circus and Fat 5 campaigns. For this campaign, we are proud to be sponsored by SAGAS, the setting and genre agnostic system, which was created by okayest RPGs. SAGAS is a universal rules-light TTRPG designed to help easily tell a story in any world or setting. You can choose from over 100 features to build your character, or use the guidelines to quickly make your own unique abilities. SAGAS also promotes helping allies over helping yourself, making it a very unique combat and playthrough system. Now, using the smooth and fast combat rules, you can describe the epic team combos or whatever it is you strategize to take down your final boss. In any settings, SAGAS has provided a smooth integration of rules to help you tell whatever story you want to tell. SAGAS uses a check-based system, which includes rolling under resolution. Your character features can change the size of the die you roll, and your allies can help you by giving you more dice, which improves your chances of getting whatever number you're aiming for, which is typically the lowest number on the die. Now, there is a free 35-page SAGAS playtest available now on DriveThruRPG, and the Kickstarter for SAGAS is beginning this January. So, definitely make sure to go check it out if you like what we're doing here. So, joining me for this exciting news story are friends both old and new to the network. So let's go around the table and meet our cast of players. We're going in alphabetical order, and that means we're starting off with Alyssa. So Alyssa, why don't you go ahead and tell us, everybody here listening, who you are and where we can find you on the internet.
Hi, my name's Alyssa. On most online spaces, I go by Serenity in Leap Speak because most normal words are taken. But otherwise, you can find some cool stuff. I make some nerdy crochet stuff, whether they're dolls or D&D themed blankets or whatnot, D20s. Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Alyssa Crochets. That's about it. I'm a little old lady. I don't hang around the internet a lot.
Fair enough. But still, definitely go check out her crochet stuff. It's awesome. Next up is Joe.
Hi, my name is Joe. Besides this campaign with Zolos, who I'm going to be playing, you can catch me every other Wednesday on Random Rhapsody playing Corwin Oliver Goodwood on the Curse of Strahd campaign, the Sonnet of Blood. On Twitter, I am Blood from a Stone, which is my other character in Random Rhapsody. But I'm not going to change it. That just seems ridiculous. Right now, if you go on there, you're going to find me arguing with Detroit Lions fans about how they lost to the Cowboys on Saturday. So, I mean, that's about it. That's all. Kind of politics and dumb sports stuff.
Yay, sports!
Yay, sport.
The sports ball!
Coins, you're next.
Yo, I'm Coins, a longtime RPG player and nerd of many varieties. I'm also a chef in real life. If you want to see or look at food or talk to me about food, it's Spice Lord Coins on Instagram, and on anything else, I'm at Devil Fetish and talk about games and food. Those are my things.
Great things to do. Okay, Nobody, you're next.
Absolutely. Hi, I'm Nobody. I use they, them pronouns. I do too many things to list all of them, so I'm just going to say that you can find me at patch_jacket on Twitter, where I have a link to everything else I do. And the main things that I do are 2 weekly podcasts. Us Weirdos Have to Stick Together, which is about queer representation in cartoons, and The Axe Files, which is a weekly reread of every single Animorphs book in order.
Wow. That's awesome. Very cool. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Let's go ahead and jump into the Æther-Shanties. Now, the story of the Æther-Shanties begins on the island nation of Jura, which is located in the southwestern hemisphere of the currently broken and decimated planet of Loroupa. Before the breaking, the kingdom of Jura was a small island kingdom off the coast of Gulfrin, which is a warlike and rather xenophobic human nation that was constantly at war with the much smaller establishment that had been created from the Feywild. Thanks to the breaking, the kingdom of Jura has gone through many changes in the last 40 years. Now free from the constant assault by Gulfrin, Jura has been able to solidify its new borders, establish settlements, and return to a somewhat sense of normalcy in a world that was rocked by change. Citizenship within Jura is quite simple compared to other nations. All residents of the island are expected to complete 2 years of active service within the military, after which point these individuals become fully fledged citizens of Jura with all of the rights and privileges therein. What can I say? I'm a Robert A. Heinlein fan. Get over it. To those born within Jura's borders, conscription usually occurs right at the beginning of adulthood for that individual's species. The age is less a determinant factor, more of it is what is considered adult for that being. Those wishing to immigrate to Jura are similarly conscripted upon their establishment. But regardless of when that happens, the 2-year service is simply a fact of life for everyone that is living within the borders. Our shanty begins with 4 such individuals who have been sent to the logging village of Monos. That's Monnos for those who are keeping track, which lies east of the Mizrin mountain range. All of them have just completed their basic training at Fort Keir, and they've all been sent by carriage to the village to report to one Captain Belvin Elmromer. That's Captain Belvin Elmromer, who is the commanding officer of Monos's guard militia. A travel between Fort Keir and Monos is a quiet, if dull, affair. But it at least gives you all a chance to get to know each other a little bit, if, you weren't able to do so during basic training. So, why don't we go ahead and get to know our characters, our heroes, for these shanties. Dreezy, would you please describe yourself for us and tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm Dreezy. I'm the smartest goblin that ever came out of the Darn Empire. Okay, me and my people, we were escaping because none of the other goblins liked us. It was crazy. They would always get on us because we were so much smarter than them. I don't even understand why. We just want to cook our food. Like, that's normal, right? And, I like fire. I like to blow some stuff up. And, yeah, so we came to this country and, I blow some stuff up sometimes, but I'm just a little guy. I'm just a regular old green-skinned goblin. Oh yeah, like half my body is burnt or whatever, but don't worry about that. It doesn't hurt me none.
Love it. Well done. Dreezy is probably sitting there at the one side of the carriage. I imagine you probably are like a little anxious and fidgeting a whole lot as you're riding along on your way to Manos. Our scene turns to an individual sitting next to this scarred up goblin. Lark, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and describe yourself for us?
I do sit either a surprisingly small elf or a very, very lithe halfling? Question mark? It's like if someone took an elf and then just shrunk it in the dryer. But she's kind of quiet. Dark hair, pale, but like very vivid, light blue eyes, kind of like Joe's background right now. Yeah, she's very good at going unnoticed. She spent a lot of her time helping her folks in the background of the things that they were doing, events, whatnot, just trying to get the necessary things done. But also saying that she kind of likes being the center of attention, kind of wants some attention from the people she cares about. So, if something goes missing, might just want to ask or, check that one drawer that she puts things in.
Is there always that one pocket that she hides things in, that like her hand is always down in touching the different things she happens to have stolen?
Yeah, so like, I'm assuming our uniform has a jacket?
Probably.
Okay, so you know how jacket pockets, how like the inside, the little flap of what is the pocket usually forms like a pocket on the inside? Yeah. She kind of like, her hands are always like kind of going inside the jacket for some reason.
I like it.
Yeah.
Directly opposite this fidgety individual that's not quite big and not quite small, we have kind of a very stark contrast. Skarn, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, hi. So I'm Skarn Ganister. It's pronouns. The thing is, we're kind of just guessing about the whole beginning of adulthood thing, because I've never actually met anything like myself. It turns out there's not a whole lot of 6'10" people wandering around, especially not ones made of living stone. So a lot of questions there. But, maybe there's not answers yet. That's okay, because there's plenty of other questions to ask. Like, geez, how fast do you think we're going? I mean, I weigh so much. They have to be putting in tons of effort to be dragging us like this, right? And it's just... Okay, I mean, alright, maybe this is my first time really outside of Fort Keir, but that's okay, because, growing up in a military installation, they don't like it when you ask questions, and what's the point of hanging out if you're not asking questions, right? There's just so much to learn.
Indeed there is, and I can't imagine that the suspension on that carriage is doing well right now. Like, it's at the lowest point whatsoever, and the poor horses that are dragging the thing is having to be paused and watered quite frequently just from the excess weight. It's interesting, but it's also given you all plenty of time to do stretches, move about a little bit, and so you're not feeling the overwhelming sense of confinement that you normally would on such a long voyage. So that's good.
I did do the math, and there's gotta be some kind of displacement going on here, because IRL, Skarn would weigh about 26,000 pounds, so that's clearly not.
Yeah, definitely not. There's magic involved there, but we're not going to talk about that right now. Instead, we're going to look at a rather dandy individual that's sitting next to Skarn right now. Kind of like it's really hard to have the eyes go anywhere else because they're just right there. So, Zolos, please describe yourself for us.
Well, dandy is the word for it, honey. My name is Zolos Vohnagath, and I am a beautiful, beautiful Triton man. I know sitting next to the three of y'all more beautiful, so thank you for that, dears. And a little sugar in the corner. I got some cream that'll help you clear up those burns in no time. I am the son of the boring John Los Vohnagath, but he does give me access to Uncle, to my favorite man, Uncle Baruch. He is the leader of Jura, and I get to have dinner with him from time to time. And he suggested that I have to join the military. I think it's really, I'm doing this for you all, not for the benefit of anything else. This is for you having me here. It's going to elevate all of your status in society. Really what I'm here for is my little mentor, this teeny tiny adorable little satyr named Randy Solito. He wants me to model his new armor. He doesn't have any enchantments on it yet, but as you can see, I am pretty as a peacock. And like, out of character, they're all wearing the regular gear. His stuff is just gorgeous purples and light greens. He did not adhere to the basic military doctrine. He looks fabulous.
I'm not wearing the regular gear either.
So, but yeah, so, I mean, I guess I'll hang with y'all, but I mean, really, this is for your benefit, not mine.
It's hard to not just look at this last individual and think to yourself, what the hell? You got a goblin with no military outfit whatsoever. You have this one that like took the outfit but just went over the top with it. How the heck do they even get around that? The military is all about structure and uniformity. So God, just all of you sit there thinking back about how the drill instructors would always look for the person to single out, and it was always the person who stood out the most. And you even if you all didn't like train with them, chances are like somebody had an issue at some point.
He didn't pay attention to any of that.
Probably not. Your travel from the fort to your new outpost takes several days. So it does give your group a little bit of time to get to know one another, get to know your strengths, your weaknesses, that sort of thing. I think I'm going to have everyone go around real quick one last time and just kind of describe what your traits are and what your struggles are, and which kind of defines who you are as a character. Dreezy, why don't you go first?
Okay. Dreezy's traits are he is small. Okay, so he takes up one less capacity. He's heat resistant from working with explosives and tinkering and blacksmithing all this time, so he takes no wounds from heat or flames. I still take regular damage from them. And then I also have the lucky trait, because again, things explode around him all the time and he doesn't die, so he's got that inexplicable luck. And what he struggles with, though, is coming from another country pretty recently and everything. He doesn't know all the customs and things, and he really has a problem with authority. He was taught to be a free thinker, break out of your confines. So he doesn't do well when he talks to the authority figures. And he also has this bad taste struggle, which he thinks is a boon, but it's that he always dresses very ostentatiously and stands out in a crowd. If you must know, the uniform he's like sewn together kind of poorly into this like sling pack that he wears, that he has all his little like trinkets and stuff, and he like wears it kind of like a what's the thing you put babies in?
Bjorn.
Moose?
A Bjorn, yeah.
Bjorn.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
the
like
same
that.
thing, I think, kind of.
But it's like the uniform with like, you know, with like its the arms like tied together and like poorly stitched. Like oh, and the last one is he's a kleptomaniac. so he's always picking up little trinkets and stuff, and you know, sometimes it's random junk and sometimes it's, you know, somebody's valuables right out of their pocket. He just can't help himself if he sees something shiny.
It's fair. Lark, why don't you go next?
Okay. There's going to be apparently a lot of repetition between the two of us. So I am, like I said, I'm pretty good at going around unnoticed. I don't make a lot of noise moving around. Kind of soft-footed, you might say. But there are times when I do like being either the center of attention, or I'm pretty good at my impressions. I'm pretty good at imitating other people and their voices.
Pretty good at imitating people and their voices.
I look forward to asking exactly that.
My character is very good at it. I, however, am not.
Anything else?
Yeah, I also have issues with authority and sticky fingers. But I'm pretty good at you know, finding information in unlikely places. And if you've got a boat, pretty sure I can drive it.
Hey, I'm sure that'll come important later in outer space. Okay. Skarn, why don't you go ahead and tell us about your struggles and traits?
For sure. It probably won't surprise anyone to discover that Skarn is big. Takes up double capacity in spaces. It is also thick-skinned on account of being made of stone, so little tougher than the average person. And this is the more interesting one that even it doesn't know about yet. Its other trait is the power affinity ability. Basically, once it figures out magic is a thing, it's gonna get way better, way faster. But the flip side of that is that it basically attracts magic, so I'm never able to dodge magic with anything other than a D12, so... you know.
As one does.
It's not great. And of course, being made of stone, it sinks like one, so it just cannot swim at all.
Oh no!
And perhaps this is a custom one that we did behind the scenes, but I also gave Skarn the ADHD struggle. It has difficulty focusing on things for long periods of time. It can get stuff done, but it takes a lot of effort.
So that's gonna.
Anybody here who would know what that was like?
Yeah, nobody on this channel knows what that's like at all. No. Yes,
Blink, neon sign.
Don't worry. I'm sure none of these struggles will ever come up in the game whatsoever. It'll be fine.
No.
Okay. Last but not least, Zolos.
Wow.
Tell us about your traits and struggles.
Well, Zolos he's being a Triton. He's pretty much made for water. Being that also we're kind of on an island nation, I mean, it does fit into that. He's got the water breathing, so he can breathe underwater, so if it were air. Now, I guess if it's dirty water, I might have to do something special. He's got webbed hands and feet. Now, most people might look at that and go, oh, that's not attractive. To him, he's fucking sexy, and he's going to let you know. Now, it's not like perfectly webbed, I'd like to think. I like to think it's a little bit, it's almost translucent maybe to the naked eye. But yeah, he zips around and easy in the water. And then I also gave him thick skin. I figured he's been in the water most of his life. And so he's just kind of toughened up his skin just in the ocean surrounding Jura. His struggles, it's no secret, he's arrogant. He's always going to assume he's going to succeed at absolutely everything he does. And the big drawback to that is when I make a roll for something like that, I do not get to know the difficulty, so I roll blind every time for that. He's also a deep sleeper. So when he wants his beauty rest, he's getting his beauty rest. And it's going to take you guys extra effort to wake my ass up if I'm sleeping. So it just fits in perfect with him. And then he's got prominent. And prominent pretty much is everybody wants to bask in my glow. So when he walks into a room, he's going to be the center of attention, which might make it easier for his two small companions to steal the stuff that they want to steal, because everybody's going to be looking at the gorgeous creature that just walked in. But it also makes me shit at stealth. So y'all are going to have to cover for me in that respect and never tell me the plan. Because if I know the plan, I'm going to fuck up the plan. Apparently, so yeah. So that's and I guess, did you want us to do our talents as well? Or
no, we're gonna find out the talents when we get into a combat for the very first time, or into role playing for the first time, depending on how that works.
So I kind of built like the perfect celebrity for fucking he's the influencer. Walking around with his bright shiny armor that he's gonna advertise as often as he can if he gets to wear it. Yeah. Well, he's the peacock in the room.
Yeah, that's interesting. You got the peacock in the room. You got the people who have no interest in authority, and then you have the stone dude who's not quite sure what's going on, but is happy to be here. It seems, at least. So that's good. It's going to be a lot of fun. I guarantee that, as these four heroes begin their job as town guards, because that's all they are. They're town guards. They're heading to Manos because they're going to be taking on the beginning of their military life for the next 2 years, which is to defend the small logging village. Your arrival takes, like I said, a few days, but not too terribly long. And you arrive in the afternoon. The town is unique. It is small. You can't even really call it a town now that your carriage is making its way up to the outer edge, and you're starting to all peek your heads out from the windows to go looking at it. It's barely more than a few dozen buildings, all put together in this kind of semicircle around a long river that is coming off of the mountains, not far from the town center. Manos, as you all know, is a logging community. Its purpose is to provide timber to the rest of the ever-expanding realm of Jura. You know that among this community, it's a big open community, but at most, maybe there's like 600-700 people living here. So as you're all getting closer, you can't help but wonder, what are we going to be doing? What are we going to be spending our days doing? You know, we're guards. Are we just going to be standing around the gates, scratching our whatevers, waiting for something interesting to happen? Who the hell knows? But very soon, you're going to be finding out. because within a few short hours, your carriage reaches the center of town, and you are all pushed almost out of the carriage. I mean, with a big group of ADHD kleptomaniacs bouncing around, tearing up the shock absorption of this cart. Like, I imagine whoever's driving this thing is like, okay, we're here, get out, quickly, grab your things, come on, move, hustle, you're all military, come on.
Can I try to pickpocket him?
You can certainly try.
Well, he's got his back turned, looking toward,
absolutely.
trying to get the other ones.
This is probably going to be a D10 unless you have something you can use to make it smaller than that.
Nope. But
Nope.
yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I should say, do I see anything that he has that looks valuable and unguarded?
Okay. Now, for that, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. You're going to be making a perception check, because we're all players of various other D&D style games, so we're going to use the things we know. You're going to roll a D10. You're looking over this individual who's trying to get you out of the carriage and on into the town itself, or the village itself. So I feel like you're probably going to have to roll either a 6 or higher.
Lower.
Or lower, yeah, sorry.
All right. Perception check. It's a 2.
It is a 2. And as this individual is like grabbing onto Skarn, is like, come on, get out! You need to get out of here. My poor horses, they're so worn out after all this. You notice that hanging off of his belt is a small bag that you're pretty sure has either coins or trinkets inside of it.
All right. I guess I have to roll to resist trying not to steal it.
You do.
So I'm like, ooh! I see, like, my eyes turn into big gold coins, and I go, ooh! I bet there's shinies in there.
Absolutely. You're gonna have to roll a D12 for this. And let's see. It doesn't say anything about. Yeah. No matter what, you have to try to take it. So, if you see it and you fail the check, so.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the exact same thing. You need to roll a 6.
I rolled a 12. Oh, but that's going to trigger my lucky ability. When I roll the absolute largest on a check, I can spend 2 effort to succeed instead of fail.
So here's the question. Do you want to...
Oh, wait a second. This is confusing. So succeeding means I won't steal it?
Yes, succeeding means
No,
you're
then I don't
resisting.
want to. No, I want to steal it.
Absolutely. You want to steal it. You rolled a 12. You definitely want to steal it, to the point where it is impossible to resist stealing from them. Unfortunately, with that 12 and the fact that you're choosing to accept the failure, it is going to increase the DC. I need you to roll above a 5 to steal this bag of trinkets or whatever off of this. We're going to call them a gnome man, his person.
Okay, another D12.
This is a D10. This is a
D10,
D10
okay,
to
regular.
steal.
And what's the DC?
The DC is a 5.
I rolled a 6. Damn.
That
Oh, so
sucks.
close.
Yeah, it's just the call was too great. You go reaching out just as they're pulling Skarn off of the cart. Your hand is there, you grasp onto it, and then the gnome turns and is like, what the hell are you doing? Smacks your hand away. That's my
Dreezy
goal.
like snaps back to you like, okay.
Oh, you. I'm watching you. You've been nothing but trouble this whole time. I'm going to be telling your commanding officer about this.
When you say you're
man.
watching, is that like metaphorical? I mean, you're going to be going back out on the carriage, right? You're not staying here to watch us, are you?
I was watching. I knew what you were going to do, and I'm definitely telling the base commander about this.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
The gnome kind of looks a little bit confused at this, and it's kind of like their eyes shifts back and forth a little bit, and they're like, hurry up and get your whatever you have off my cart. And he goes storming off away from you all. About this time... Go ahead.
As he's walking away, or once he started walking away, I'm just going to turn to everyone else and mimicking his voice, just being always watching.
Oh
always.
My God. I love it.
And there you all stand in the center of this small logging community, not quite sure what to do, but knowing that you do have to report to your base commander. Fortunately, not a few moments later, an individual walks up towards you. But we're going to learn more about that next time. Instead, we're going to be turning our attention away from our scene and these heroes that have now reached their new home in the logging community of Manos. And we're going to learn a little bit more about the game we're playing. SAGAS stands for Setting and Genre Agnostic System, which means that it's a universal rules-light TTRPG, which has been designed to help easily tell your stories in any world or setting you can come up with. Its ambiguity allows you to create both quick and easy one-shot adventures and long-term campaigns for you and your friends. The book itself is a little under 50 pages long, so learning to play Sagas is very easy, and much of the book is used in character creation. There are over 100 different features that you can choose from when creating your character, from traits and struggles to talents and powers. Those things that you choose define what your character is going to be. Do you want to be an outlaw from the Wild West? A stealthy assassin? A battle-hardened spacer? A cute and cuddly woodland creature? With Saga's versatile character creation system, you can be anything and more. Character creation in Sagas is very quick and easy, allowing you to start playing your games as soon as possible. Everyone starts off with only a few choices to make, but those choices define what your character is and how they are going to be played. Everyone starts off with 2 health and 2 effort. Your health obviously determines how long you can survive in combat, and effort is your short-term energy pool, which you use to perform various abilities. From there, you must select 2 traits and 2 struggles, which define what kind of character you're playing. From there, you select 3 talents or powers, which are special skills that you are able to do at level 1. From there, all you have to do is decide on your backstory leading up to this point, and you're ready to go. Gameplay in Sagas is different from most traditional TTRPGs, in that with this system, players are trying to roll the smallest number possible for success. Sagas use 4 dice to determine successes and failures: a d12, a d10, a d8, and a d6. The goal is to always use the smallest dice possible, thereby increasing your chance to roll a smaller number. Gameplay in Sagas revolves around checks. A check represents a character's chance of success in doing something difficult. When your character attempts to do something such as, find a hidden key or somebody hidden or something like that, they make a check. The GM sets a difficulty somewhere between 1 to 8, 1 being the most difficult and 8 being something anyone can do easily. When the GM asks for a check, the player determines which dice they use and how many should be used for that check. They do so by checking their features, struggles, and traits. If they have something that allows them to roll a smaller dice, they can do so. If they have a struggle that forces them to use a specific dice, they have to use that, such as the D12. If not, they use a D10. You roll the dice, you compare it to the difficulty, and that determines your range of success. One of the biggest features about Sagas is its cooperative play. Your team members can assist you in your checks by expending effort to allow you to add an additional dice to your roll. Once the dice are rolled, you always take the lowest number on the dice and compare it to the difficulty check. Your players do so by expending 2 effort. You can also help yourself by expending 3 effort. But at level 1, you only have 2, so you have to wait until at least level 2 to do that. Also, during battle, you can do a combo move. A player can expend 2 effort to assist an ally's attack. And if they succeed, you add 1 damage to that attack. This makes working cooperatively a big part of Sagas, and it encourages the players to, think of really cool ways to use their abilities together in tandem to create these amazing combos. Combat is much more streamlined in Sagas. All of your enemies have basic stats: their hit points, their attack value, and their dodge value. In this, it's less about the GM rolling against the player. It's mostly about the player rolling to beat the monster's difficulty class. When a player wants to make an attack, they make an attack check against that monster's defense. If they roll above it, then they hit. When a monster attacks a player, the player has to roll an avoid check against the monster's attack difficulty. On a success, nothing happens. On a failure, the player takes the damage. Players can also encourage other players throughout battle. As an action, you can communicate with another player character and give them some or all of your effort. So trading around effort is encouraged in the game. Effort is something that can be regained through failed checks. Every time you fail a check, whether it's to hit a monster or to roll to dodge their attack, or even just looking for somebody, if you fail a check, you regain an effort point, and you can gain as much as your max total. So throughout the game, that effort pool is always going up and going down, encouraging you to spend it and use it to assist your friends and work together to deal with whatever threat your game master throws at you. As you're building your character, you have to decide what sort of traits they have. Are they naturally big? Are they good climbers? Are they heat resistant? Or are they really lucky? Do they have special night vision? Or are they really tiny? Are they able to breathe underwater? Or do they have wings that allow them to fly? You also have to choose struggles, things that you have a hard time with, such as, are you an anarchist or a bad driver? Do you have bad taste? Or are you really naive? Are you a kleptomaniac? Or are you exhausted all the time? Your traits and your struggles define who you are as your character. When you level up, you gain 1 point to add into either your health or your effort pool. And then you are given 2 points to apply to your talents. You can use them to give yourself a new talent, which you have learned, or to increase your rank in ones you already know. The more ranks you put into a talent or an ability, the more powerful it can be, which allows you to use smaller dice when you're rolling those abilities. Talents come in a few different forms. There's combat talents, there are non-combat talents, and there are power talents. Your power talents are your magical abilities, and they can be used in many different ways, all depending on what you choose and your creative use of it. There are also powered non-combat talents, things like creating illusions or teleporting. If none of the talents that are on the list suit you, you're also able to create your own, and the book guides you on how to do that. Equipment is also available and is listed in a small amount, but it's more of a framework to allow you to create whatever sort of weapons and armor and equipment you might need within your campaigns. It also lists different types of monsters that the players could potentially encounter. There's a lot of great ones within this book. I'm not going to go into all of them, but I will show a little bit of the cool information and the art that's listed inside. If the things in the book don't suit you, there's also ways to create your own monsters. So really, you're only limited by your own imagination, which makes for a useful game with a lot of replayability. All in all, Sagas is an extremely versatile TTRPG system that can be applied to any and all settings or genres or games that you would like to play. Sagas Kickstarter is now live. You can follow our referral link in the description to check it out. You can also pick up a copy of the beta test for the game over on drivethrurpg.com if you want to try it out while the Kickstarter is going on. And so, on behalf of everyone in Æther-Shanties and everyone in the Random Rhapsody crew, I just wanted to say, thank you, folks. It's been a delight. So long. Good luck. And until next time, may the wind be forever within your sails. Good night.
Don't forget to blow shit up!